Soft life, just an aesthetic? No, it's a way to build a business abroad. Hey everyone, I'm Christine, the host and creator of Flourish in the Foreign, and also the coach and strategist for Build a Business Abroad. Hi, welcome. Welcome to Flourish in the Foreign on IG. Today we're talking about building a business abroad and soft life, right? I've been thinking about this. I'm actually writing about this. It's going to be published in a couple weeks for some people. But, there's like this whole thing happening. A movement, aesthetic called soft life. And it basically just looks like good lighting. It's good lighting and like soft features and great pictures, but also it's about women, particularly Black women. Maybe they're enjoying some luxury or what have you. And I think that's great. But, I don't think it's only an aesthetic. I think it's important to embody this. This is a lifestyle. And a lot of people don't recognize that before it was called soft life, a lot of people were living a soft life. Case in point, me. I moved to Spain to, live a soft life. I guess that's what I live now. And build a business with like the same tenets, I suppose, of soft life. And you can do that as well. You can build a business abroad or at home with the same tenets of soft life as I recognize them to be. And you can also build a business to support your soft life abroad. And that's what we're talking about today. I'm excited about it. It came to me and I want to talk about it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you could, go ahead and put your name and where you're from in the comments. If you have any questions as I go along on my little tirade, you could go ahead and put in the comments or in the question box. That's fine. So I guess the first thing is to talk about what soft life is. And I'm going to just tell you what my definition of soft life, which you're going to say, oh, it sounds familiar if you listen to the podcast. Because to me, living a soft life is living a life well lived on your own terms. And that is always going to encompass a deep wellness, and a wellness that is way beyond, face masks and great lighting. It's financial wellness. It's professional wellness. It is emotional and mental wellness. It is physical wellness on your own terms. That is what a soft life is. When I say go abroad and cultivate a life well lived, that's what I'm talking about, is living a life on your own terms. But if you listen to the podcast for a while, you know that to do that, to cultivate a life well lived, let alone have a soft life, you have to deeply know yourself. Period. This is not an aesthetic. Like, if you want to keep it as an aesthetic, that's fine. But to actually embody this in your life and to have it do something for you, you have to know what that means for you. You have to identify it. That's why I have always, with the Moving Abroad with Intention guide, it's over a 40-page guide that discusses and helps you go through what's working in your life and what's not. So you can identify what the tenets would be for you for a soft life. If you have picked up the Build a Business Abroad guide, it helps you to identify your skills and your expertise that you are already amazing at, and what things that you need to leverage to be able to go abroad and have a soft life. Because you can have a business and have a soft life. I know it sounds crazy, especially if you're coming from American capitalism, but actually, the more that I think about it, I write about it, and I live my life, the more that I recognize that I do live a life and I build a business based on having a soft life. I can take a break whenever I feel like it in my business, which is great for when personal things go haywire, like earlier this year, and I'm like, I gotta take a break. It's when things are going great and I have all the opportunities and I can just choose, what I want to do. That's a soft life. Where you're not necessarily chasing after everything, right? So let's first talk about, what is soft life? Hey Janefa, how are you? I'm gonna email you soon, girl. So look at that email. Let me know where you are tuning in from, where you want to go abroad, what your definition of a soft life is, what your business is, how you incorporate soft life into your business, how you want to incorporate a soft life into your business, all those things, right? So let me continue. So with a soft life, as I said, it's really about living a life well lived. When it comes to a business, though, it is about identifying, in my opinion, because this is how I run my business, this is who I consult with, it's about understanding not only your zone of genius, but understanding the lifestyle that you want to have. I always tell all of my clients, right? So my clients, if you don't know, I'm a business strategist. I've been a business strategist for over 10 years. How old am I? 10 years. I primarily work with women entrepreneurs, women of color, Black women who work in some aspect of wellness. Most of my clients are wellness plus science. So they're like therapists that are credentialed, that work for, very high up organizations. This is not like TikTok wellness at all. These are women who are writing books, who are about to be on television, who are about to help serve all of you in all their amazing ways. That's what I am. I'm a business strategist. I help them to get organized, get clear. I help them to develop products and systems and things like that. And how I do that is that I give them this very long questionnaire that we go through. And really that questionnaire is about, what does a life well lived mean to you? What does your business mean to you? And what type of business do you want to have? Now, not really the business model, but really how you want to show up in your business. How do you want to work in your business? The cycles of business, right? So for a lot of my clients, they are already speaking. They get paid to speak, get paid to do workshops and things like that from, top Ivy League universities, Fortune 500 companies, all those things. And they now have to decide what is it they want to do next. And the way they really decide that, and how we decide that as a team, is I ask them, well, how much do you want to work? And how much money you want to make? Right? How much money you want to make, and how much you want to work, and what are the tenets, and what are the things you really want to, achieve? And that is the basis of a soft life business, ladies and gentlemen. When you can identify what is it, how you want to work, how long? Do you want to work year long? Do you want to take the summers off? Do you want to only work 6 months out of the year? You might think, how can you do that? You can if you build a business of that cycle. Yes, you can. I mean, there's digital nomads that work on a different types of cycles. I know someone that works, October through, or is it September? September, October through February. And she's done. Okay, don't tell me, come on. It's possible, and people are doing it. Okay, and then for her, she just travels and hops countries, and then she comes back. She goes back to the States and works. But actually, I think now she might have gone totally digital because of the pandemic. So she might just be out here all the time. That's why it's so important to understand what your cycle is, right? And I think it's important to understand what your personal cycle for business is, because too often in these internet streets, these TikTok streets, people are gonna sell you on this and that and all this other stuff. But, if you're gonna start a business, which is a hassle, similar to moving abroad, you need to make it custom fit. You know what I'm saying? Why are we doing, it's not a one size fits all. What works for you, what you like to do, may not be working for me, right? Y'all barely see me in these social media streets. I'm gonna get better. I am getting better. I'm claiming it. I've scheduled it. I've created some assets. So I'm getting better at it. If you watch TikTok and things like that, you would think to be successful, you'd need to have a huge Instagram audience, or an IG audience or something like that. And you don't. I'm a testament to that. And you don't, right? And honestly, you guys know it if you've watched any of my IGs about being a content creator. You know, a lot of these people with a large following don't monetize it. They don't know how to, or they don't monetize it in a sustainable manner. Like, they don't really be making money off of it. And y'all know, maybe you don't know. As a strategist, for me, if you're not making money, it's a hobby. So, I mean, so if you're an influencer hobbyist, great. If you are an influencer and making money, a business person, even better if that's what you want, right? Let me pause to see what y'all saying, because y'all are saying some things. Yep, Jennifer, one curvy chick. I'm in Portugal, been here for a few months, and I'm still decompressing from the US, building my business around the metaphysical space. Oh, I love the metaphysical space. I'm deeply taught in that space for years. Love that for you. As you know, as a metaphysician, that's as good as it's gonna get. That you can kind of create whatever you want. There's some rules to it that you have to abide to. And you can build a life and build a business within soft life. So as I told you before, it's important to be clear. Like with anything, you have to have a clear vision of that business. How often do you want to work and things like that? What's the cycle of your work? What does your workday look like? What is your zone of genius? What do you do? But also, you need to know your numbers. And this is something that I think as women, we sometimes have shied away from. As, you know, women business owners, always undervalue themselves, underprice themselves. I'm the type of person that's like, if they're not questioning your prices, they're too low. You gotta have people get an attitude with you. What? And people get attitude with me, and I'm like, and it's still the price. And you know what? The price is going up next time. It's important to understand your number. If you've gotten the Build Business Abroad guide, you know that the number that I'm referring to is the number that makes your life go round. It is the number that you need to take home, not only to cover your expenses, but like if you invest, if you have expenses in the US, if you want to do this, if you want to do that, the number that you need to make as in like a take-home pay that you pay yourself out in your business. It's important for you to know that, because soft life, in my opinion, is not broke life. I know. This is a new area. So I'm just making up stuff before somebody writes a think piece and tells me, because they have a master's degree, what it is. I'm writing it. I've already written an article about it. I'm telling you guys what soft life is. So, like, when we think about soft life, when we think about living a life well lived, money isn't part of it. Like, you may hate capitalist structure and everything that it kind of stands for, a lot of exploitation of people, of yourself, things like that, maybe even disconnect. But quite frankly, we still got to make money until we've all agreed not to care about money anymore, right? And part of soft life is a life of financial wellness. It does not have to be a life of excess to whatever you feel. I know some people, when we say money, people feel, they have a lot of feelings about money. They have a lot of baggage. They want to be seen as greedy. They want to be seen as bad. And money is not bad. Money is just energy that we utilize to do things like live and to live a soft life, okay? So you have to know your number. Soft life is only an aesthetic if you're just taking pictures. It's an embodiment. Living a sumptuous life is living a life in which you get to take care of yourself in the manner that you want to be taken care of, right? You have a business that supports you in the manner that you'd like to be supported in, right? That's a soft life. A soft life is being able to work when you want to and not when you don't want to. or not work when you really can't, right? If you are hitting a mental wellness wall and you're not well, you need to take your time off, because honestly, we're not meant to work all the time. And I know that there's so many, mostly men, entrepreneurship gurus who are like, you'll sleep when you die, grind, eat dirt for 3 years. You don't have to do any of that. I'm just gonna tell you, you don't have to do any of that at all. I think that's the beauty of being a woman, I guess, and being in like my divine feminine, is like I think about business in a different way and I handle business in a completely different way. I manage my business in a different way and my clients come to me in a different way, and like just it's a different type of way. I'm not like a hard beat it, kill it, stab it, grind it. No. You know what I am? I'm a coax it. You know you want to come over here. You know you want to come on the winning team. And they do. That's soft life. Soft life in every aspect of my of business, of how I do what I do. That's a soft life, right? Soft life is also having the time and space to contemplate and decide if I want to change what I do, and not having the anxiety of like, I can't be different, I can't do whatever, right? And look, I already have anxiety. I deal with it, it's fine. But soft life is a space, it's an embodiment, it's a way of thinking and moving, in my opinion, that's in alignment with longevity, with sustainability, not with burnout. What? And the thing is that, which I think is so interesting, is that if you listen to some of these entrepreneurship gurus on the internet, with the TikTok and with the, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna do it. I don't think I'm gonna do one of these. We'll see. I don't know. Is that what they say is like, you're gonna be successful if you disconnect from yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, if you put everyone before yourself, if you talk mean to yourself, what else? If like all these things, and I'm like, it sounds like you're gonna be burnt out because you're neglecting yourself. And if you are successful, and whatever you mean, I mean, success at that point is just like, are you successful just because you made a sale? Because I'd be like, buddy, you can make a sale without doing all that. But hey, if you don't want to sleep, I'm not gonna stop you. Like, what they're teaching you is that a system of a life in which you perpetuate maybe the same situation that you came out of if you're in corporate or working for somebody else. I thought the whole point of working for yourself is to have freedom, time freedom, creativity, freedom of expression and things like that, and also to take care of yourself. And if something pops off in your family, you can be like, hold on, I gotta do this. I gotta go. Now someone be like, you can't go do that. You're like, that's right. So soft life, build business abroad. What I teach as a business strategist has always been about soft life. It's just nice that the Gen Zers have brought an aesthetic to it. I'm like, okay. But it's always been about sustainability. And I think that's what's so interesting. I think sometimes with these marketing and things like that, the internet culture, they make, soft life. It's feminine, so it has to be like not serious and whatever. It's like, it's feminine and sustainability. It's feminine, I suppose, and it's all about longevity. But, women, we live longer than men anyway, so it's kind of like, you scoff at it, but we be living. We be living. We be living. Okay? I just read an article about how marriage and partnership really only benefits, in a heterosexual relationship, only benefits men. Women, women's lives will decrease, life expectancy will decrease. And then when women are single, they're the happiest, and they live longest. And whereas when men are single, they are the unhappiest and don't live as long. And look, this is not a talk about partnership, because that's whatever. Because you have a great partner, that's great. But it is amazing. It's more about energy. It's about what people, like clearly feminine energy, in whatever way you want to describe it, is creative energy, is life-giving energy, it is sustainable energy. It is the energy for longevity in all aspects of life. So leaning into soft life is not about leaning into like, indulgence and luxury. I mean, if that's what it means to you, go ahead and do that. But it's really about saying my personal mantra. I do what I want. I do what I want. I trust my intuition. I trust my noggin. Like, I trust my experiences. And I'm going to go ahead and trust like my feminine, energy. That this pops everything off. This is longevity. That's what I'm saying, okay? That's what soft life is. Now, does soft life in business mean that like you will not have hard times? Will there be hardness and soft life in business? Well, yes, there will be. You know why? Because there's hard times or difficult times or times of growth in nature. Mother Nature, if you will. That is true. Part of your evolution as a person, as a business owner, is going to be some tension between who you are and who you want to be, who you are and who people are asking you to be, who you are and who you think you should be. Yeah, but I think having a business and having a business philosophy that embodies longevity, sustainability, soft life, makes those periods in which you are feeling maybe the anxiety or the tension, the resistance, better. If not, just because you've had sleep and you're not eating dirt. And that you're actually clear about what you want as an individual and not what you think other people should want for you, what they think success is. They think success is being a billionaire, and you're like, being success is making, $150,000 after tax and living in the Azores. You know what I mean? Like, that might just be it for you. Maybe what's amazing for you is selling your business. You're like, I'm gonna build this business, I'm gonna sell this business, and I'm gonna be retired. Or I'm gonna invest it in something else. I'm gonna become a venture capitalist. Maybe what's going to be great for you is having a business and that you pass it along and it becomes a legacy business. Not everything is supposed to be on the stock exchange. And how about not every company that's on the stock exchange make money? Let's not get into that. Let's not get into all those, zombie corporations and things like that. Let's not get into it, right? Because anyway, let's read some of these comments. Again, today we're talking about soft life and business, building business abroad. And if you have any comments, put them in the comment section. If you have any questions, put them in the question box. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you resonate. Does this make sense to you? Soft life and business. Is this your business philosophy? Maybe tell me your business philosophy. Or you could even tell me something that you feel confused about with business. Maybe a myth that you heard, or maybe something that you feel like resistant to. Like, you're like, I know I'm supposed to do this, but I don't want to do this, but I feel like I have to. Tell me about that. Tell me about your business that you're creating. Tell it to me all, because today we are talking about soft life and building a business. I've written an article about it. It's going to come out soon. And, it's something that I have embodied, and I didn't realize it was an aesthetic until I was on TikTok. Because, I don't really be in these social media streets like that. And part of me is like, I don't want to. But I'm gonna. But I was on TikTok and I started seeing all these things and I was like, I already lived this life. I didn't know how to name. Okay. Soft life. But I don't have those pictures yet though. I need some of those soft life. I need to put some Vaseline on my face and get some of that golden hour lighting and live that soft life. But I just live it. I live it low key, or I guess social media low key. I just mind my business and do my thing, you know. But tell me about your soft life in business. Tell me about what soft life means to you, and what you hope it means about your business. Because, you know, you don't have to grind it, kill it, punch it. Like, why so violent? Like, why? All right, let's look at some of these comments, y'all. And thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Janefa, hey. Absolutely, soft life is not broke. I received that, right? So this is the thing. This is why I was like, let me write this article. Because I don't want, not just Gen Z, but anybody. Like, okay, aesthetics are cool, but you know what's cooler? Living that life. Actually living it. Not just being like, don't I look great with my star? But like, look, you know, I think we were all young without the internet. Thank goodness, without the social media. But, you know, you get caught up in the looks of things. And I'd rather just live it personally. Like, soft life is an aesthetic, but how about it's a philosophy? How about it's a business philosophy? How about it's a moving abroad philosophy? All articles coming soon to you, to all of you. Rakaya, broke life is not soft life at all, right? But I don't see nobody talking about it. That's where I read the article. I was like, let me put my little millennial wisdom on it and be like, okay. Because the thing is that as I saw it, and look, I'm not a TikTok researcher, so there could be, but there's a lot of people talking about, you know, soft life. Is it black girl luxury? Hey, I love that for you too, as long as you're not financing your luxury. No, we don't do that. No. Okay, we're not doing that. Look, an aesthetic, cool, but it's better to just live it for yourself, not for the validation of other people. Because, you know, the crazy thing is, and I think some of these, you know, influencers are seeing, is that people will like those pics, but they don't actually want you to live that life. They don't want you to have a life different from them. They don't want you to not, like, you don't have to commute. You don't have to go through traffic. You could take time off your business and attend to your family or just attend to yourself. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear, like, I take 2 naps. I take 2 naps a day normally. But I have to, because I'm a new napper. I'm very new to it. And, you know, when you start a new habit, you have to, like, really be on it. But yeah, I nap twice. I go to sleep whenever I'm sleepy now. That's a new thing for me this year, and it's great. But like, people don't want to hear that. They're like, well, you don't work that hard. But I live a sumptuous life. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? One curvy chick. I never understood that mentality or sleeping when I'm dead. I think I'm not gonna. What do I want to say about it? I think that is a mentality. I think it's a violent mentality. It's a mentality of people that, how do I want to say this? It's a trick. It's a trick. Let me just say that. It's a trick. Because quite frankly, let's talk about it. The most wealthy people in the world don't work that hard. You know why? Because they don't work for their money. You mean, what do you mean they don't work for their money? They don't work for their money. They don't exchange hours for money. They make money from investments, real estate, gold, gems, businesses, what have you. So this mentality of like, I have to work so hard, that is literally a lie. It's a lie. And it's a lie that serves exploitation and capitalism. It's a lie to have people to work as hard and to be okay with not getting much out of it. There is work when you're building a business before it's an asset that is paying you, and before you can derive some dividends and reinvest your dividends, or just take out your dividends and live off your dividends of your business. You are putting in sweat equity, but how you do it does not need to be in a violent or misaligned manner. You can plant the seeds that you want to harvest and tend to the soil, and you will reap it. Yes. And that's not just me being woo-woo with you. That's it. Now, there's a couple factors to think about, of course, depending on how much money you want to make, how fast you want to make the money, right? And what you do, right? Because you are putting your business, your skills, your products on a marketplace. But the thought that you have to kill yourself or whatever, not kill yourself, you know, like you have to, that you can't take care of yourself while you're building your asset is not true. It isn't. And this is coming from somebody who is a little bit of a workaholic, but I like what I do. But I do work too much, and I have a therapist, and I stopped working, and I have my boundaries in place for I'm like, one more thing. No, because it's about longevity. I live a beautiful life. And sometimes I have to because all of my work is on my computer, I have to be like, take a walk. And I'm like, oh yeah. Oh wait, no, I'm not going because I'm gonna go tool around here, go see my friends. They have their own bar over here. I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing? Right? Have relationships, have social groups. I actually just put together this really great women business owners group. It's all foreigners here in Valencia. We have a great time. It's like a monthly kind of thing. We all have different types of businesses. It's wonderful because you get like inside knowledge on a new business. You're like, maybe do I want to get into real estate? Do I want to do this? It's great. And then we always have like a great time drinking wine, stuff like that. It's awesome. No people. I'm trying to live right now today, not to be worn out and bedraggled. But thank you. What Kirby chick, where are you from? I say bedraggled too. And people be like, what do you, I'm like, is that an Atlanta thing? Is that a Southern thing? Is that a Black thing? I don't know. I say bedraggled too. I understand being an entrepreneur requires sacrifice, but you have to find balance in everything. I think what it is like in any transformation, in anything that you are calling forth into physical form, requires you to sacrifice who you used to be to become the next iteration of yourself, to be the person that could receive this thing, this blessing, and be able to manage it and to care for it and be a good steward of it. Life is constantly a cycle of death and rebirth, truly. Yeah. And the sacrifice, I think, we could say it's a sacrifice to work for someone else unhappily. I'm not a person who thinks everybody should be an entrepreneur, but if you're unhappy and if that is not serving you and your highest and best, that's a sacrifice. Even to build your own business and not be sleeping and like, what? If you don't sleep for 24 hours, your chances of like a stroke go up like 70% or something crazy. I just listened to this on a podcast. I was like, what? Oh, let me make sure I get all my sleep. 2 naps. Okay. No, I don't, it's not, it's like this. Money is wonderful and money is a means to an end. But I believe, and because I hold this belief, it is true for me, that I'm living this life for this experience and not necessarily, definitely not, for just the looks of it for other people or just money in general. Like for me, money has a job. So I could say, oh, I want to make this quarter. Not because it's just vibes. It's because I have a job for this money, and the universe knows I'm a good steward of this money. I'm like, I'm gonna give you a really good job. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a good job. So this is what I'm trying to make. Right? So this money has a job. It has a job that, takes care of me and helps me as a person experience things as I want to experience, friends and family, initiatives, things that I like to, support. It has a job. And I think that's a different way of thinking about it. This is something I talk about in my upcoming book. I'm gonna talk about it later. But yeah, that's what I believe. Hey Krishan, how are you? We always say this. We see each other on IG Live and I'm like, we gotta talk. You gotta do that. You had those soft life pics from your photos. I'm gonna put those on the grid. All right, I'll put them on the grid. I got my soft life. I'm gonna drop the article on the blog. I'm gonna let everybody know. I'm gonna drop the pics on the grid. Cheers to the nap life. New napper here too. It's a beautiful thing, right? Like, I used to resist napping. It's so sick. Like, I was like, I can't nap for the week, or I'm not a kid, all this weird programming. That's what's so great about living abroad. You're like, people are just like, what are you even talking about? To the point where sometimes it's like, I'll talk to my friends, even other business owners, and I'll be like, oh yeah, this week I was like working this much. Like, if I was like kind of went overboard in a week. And they look at me like I said, like the sky is green. They're like, what is wrong with you? No. And the same thing with napping. I live in Spain. I live in Valencia now. Everything shuts down for siesta. Some things don't. Like, the chain grocery stores. But everything else, like the optometrist shuts down. Like the small green grocer shuts down. Like bakeries shut down. Everybody goes home. Do they nap? I don't know. But they have that kind of ritual of self-care, of family care, that I think is, I don't know why it took me so long to get here, but I'm glad I'm here. I'm not going back. You can't take me back. I'm napping and I love it. The crazy thing too is I used to think, like, if I nap, I'm gonna sleep the whole day. If I nap, I'm gonna wake up grumpy. I don't. I'd be in like some deep sleep for like 15, 20 minutes and I'd be like, oh my God, it must be 4 hours. It's 20 minutes. I'm like, and I feel amazing. I'm like, and I feel like I'm one of those people, when people discover something new and they tell everyone about it, I feel like I want to do that. I want to make TikToks about napping. And people are like, okay, Christine. Like, did you know napping's amazing? One of those people. I want my money to make money and those money babies make more money. That's, okay, come on. That's soft life. And the thing is that when I talk to my clients and even in Build a Business Abroad, is about thinking about your business as an asset. The thing is like, especially when we're talking about Black women and a lot of women of color, especially in the United States, entrepreneurship isn't new. Being a business owner isn't new because of just historic racism, systemic racism, where certain jobs were not afforded to you. Like, you just couldn't get a job, so you had to make a job. The only thing is, like, now it's like we don't want to build a business just for, our daily expenses. Of course, that's great. You can feed yourself, clothe your baby and stuff like that. But now let's think about a business truly from soft life. A business in which I can plant one seed and reap multiple harvests. Yeah, right? That's the whole point. That's the point of systems and workflows. That's the point of really understanding the money that you want to make, how much you want to work, that combination, thinking about products and services, things like that. And look, it's still something that I experiment with, right? I've been a business strategist for so long, but coming to content creation is new still. I'd be like, every day I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know. And trying out different products, trying out things that work. Some things don't work. You'd be like, that was a fail. Or things that work, you're like, I don't want to do it. Or I don't want to do it like that. Or I have a whole poster board and I pull out my cell phone, I do the numbers. I'm like, the math ain't mathing. The math is not mathing. And if the math don't math, we got to move on. That's my personal philosophy, because I have a vision of my life in like in the next 5 years. But if you know, I always tell people my goal is always not to work every year. Every year, like that's the goal, is to think about ways in which I can invest and build a business model mix so I don't have to work. That's always like the goal. I say this all the time. And the thing is like, I learned so much by stating it, and I tell people, and I'm like, I'm not ashamed. I'm like, what would you do if you don't work? I'm like, more of what I do now, which is just be lovely. And also, I would probably do a lot more mentorship, which I love. I really do love mentorship. I love being a business strategist. I love doing advice and advising and things like that. And be able to do it for people in different groups at different socioeconomic levels or different situations, sitting on a board. I would love to do that. But I have a business to run. And so when we don't have to work every day, I can do all these things. So that's what I do. Like that's my impetus, right? That's my personal soft life. That's not gonna be for everyone. And I don't think it should be. Don't be like, well, I don't want to work either too. Maybe you do want to work, that's fine. But how do you want to work? That's the thing. I don't want to work at all. I say that, but I would definitely start some type of social enterprise, because that's just inside of me. I'm a natural organizer, curator for some reason. I mean, I live in Valencia. I run like 3 organizations already. And I'm like, how did this happen? And I resist it. I'm like, I'm not organizing it. You guys do. And I just do it. I just love it. I always have thoughts. And I'm like, no, we need to do it this way. Right? That's what I would do more of. And maybe more naps, Okay, let's see. Ooh, a book. Yes. Oh, now I said I gotta say. Yes, okay. I'm working on 2 things that are coming out. I've been working hard, y'all. I've been kind of quiet earlier this year. I had a lot of personal stuff happen, and I was just like, no. Thankful to have a business where I could be like, no, and really address that situation and take care of myself. But also, I am, working on a book. And I'm really excited about it. I'm nervous, which is really interesting. I'm usually nervous whenever I launch anything major. But I'm really proud of myself. I've had to change my entire life to get this thing done, and I'm still working on it. And so it's coming by the end of the year. We're coming. I'm really excited about it, actually. I'm excited to see what you guys think. I'm excited. Now I'm grumpy if I don't nap, right? Like I will talk to myself and be like, you're sleepy, just lay down. And I'm like, no, it's like I'm a child. I'm literally talking to my inner child. And maybe that's true. Maybe I'm taking care of my inner child. Maybe soft life is taking care of our inner children. Look at this. Look at this. Maybe that's what it is. That's part of the healing, and perhaps that's part of the healing of reclaiming your creativity, your labor too, is to heal that child and be like, you get to nap whenever you want to. You get to play whenever you want to. And if you grew up in a situation in which money was hard or strange, you get to reteach that inner child what money is and what money ain't. And money ain't hard to come by for you, kid, right? Perhaps that is the opportunity. But I do like the thought of soft life in business. That's why I wrote the article about it. And I will let you know when it gets published and things like that. It's going to get published, and it's going to be on my blog too. So I would love your thoughts and feelings about that. But soft life, in my opinion, is longevity, is living a life on your own terms, unabashedly. And I think that's so interesting that when I say, live your life in your own terms, or my personal mantra, which is I do what I want. Like, people have a lot of resistance to that. They're like, you do what you want? Ugh, like, you're so, and I'm like, how does that have anything to do with you? It's me. It's me. I do what I want to do. But it's also not about me, I don't know, being flashy or whatever. It's really about accountability and empowerment, because empowerment doesn't come without accountability. So if I'm in a situation that I don't like, I gotta tell myself, well, you do what you want, Christine. And I'll be like, oh, I didn't want this. Well, you do what you want. So examine that if you didn't get the result that you want, right? But it's also empowering, because then I say, you don't like it here? You can do what you want. And then I do, and I figure it out, right? That's what it is. Jenefa, if the math ain't math, then stop and reassess and change. That's the thing. But also, look, I always say being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. It isn't. You have L's. You have L's people know about. You have L's that I think most of the L's people don't know about, because you'd be like, no one signed up. Or no one knows, or no one watched the video, or whatever it is. Or it never even got to the masses. You're just like, it just didn't work, right? But the difference, I think, between a successful entrepreneur, is that you take the L's. It's not that your feelings aren't hurt or you don't feel bad. You feel like, oh, okay. But you just don't sit there. You take it as information and you pivot. And I think it's so similar to soft life, because look, if you are a luxe girl, and you're like, I just gotta have me a Chanel bag. I gotta have a Chanel bag. And not just a regular Chanel. I want the old school Chanel with the 24 karat gold, not gold plating Chanel, which is crazy. It's like, how do you sell gold plating for more, the bag with gold plating more than the old bag? Anyway, like, if that's what I want, then okay, I get it. And if it's not everything in my dreams, you're like, oh, it's just a purse. You get to choose again. I think it's similar to entrepreneurship. You can attain a goal, and it can be not what you thought it was going to be, and then you choose again. That's the great thing about soft life. I think if you approach entrepreneurship from a way of grind and things like that, you're trying to make everything work all the time. You're trying to, put a square peg in a round hole, and you're gonna make it happen. And it's like, maybe just pivot, maybe take the information and move on. Because the thing about it is that there's a lot of ways. When I say a lot, I mean like a billion ways to make money in this world, and at least 700 million ways to do it online. So the thing is like, you can find what you want to do, and you can learn it, you can do it, you can figure it out. It may take trial and error, but you can make it happen. I think it's all about the mindset at that point. If you think every time something's gonna work out, you're a failure, I don't think you're gonna last as an entrepreneur. And I also don't think that's a soft life. That's not living a life of softness. Living a life of softness is showing yourself grace and compassion, and knowing that you grow best when you extend to yourself grace and compassion, and when you extend to yourself understanding, and when you talk to your inner child like a child and say, not like, you're stupid, you didn't do this. Like, were you scared? Is that why you self-sabotaged? Were you unsure? Were you afraid what people were going to think about you? Did you feel embarrassed? Like, doing these types of talks and having that kind of dialogue with yourself is important generally, I think, as an adult, but I think especially as an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is a form of self-actualization. I've said it so many times. I've been saying it for years and on the website. It's a form of self-actualization. You become more of yourself through the process of thinking and pulling things out of the ether and bringing them into the physical form, that interaction with other people as you deliver your service. You become clear about who you are as a purpose-driven service provider. Like, you learn more and more about who you are and who you're not. And who you're not may not be someone that people want to put as 30 under 30, 40 under 40, 50 under 50. Oh my God, let me tell y'all. In my 20s, I was obsessed with being under somebody's 30 under 30 list. Like, I just thought, like, if I did not end up on someone's 30 under 30 list, I was just gonna like have a conniption. And when I turned 30, I think I did. I was just like, you're a failure. And it's like so interesting how with time and wisdom and actually living a life that I want, like I was like, why did you want that? That doesn't bring, I mean, it's cool, but like, this is cooler, you know? So much pressure to put on yourself for that kind of thing that at the time, I don't know if it would have meant much. We have to really assess that kind of thing. You know, we have so many expectations of ourselves, right? I do better with naps. Soft life lets us heal. Yes, yes. Okay, so for those of you that are joining us as I'm wrapping up, today's discussion was about soft life and building a business abroad. Building a business. And I just gave you guys my thoughts of this kind of TikTok trend and what it would be like to actually embody it, building a business abroad. And I've written an article and have some other things coming out for that. And to me, in conclusion, soft life and building a business abroad is like cultivating a life well lived. That's what it is. It's understanding what that is and being true to it. It's aligning yourself with it. Building a business does not need to be like violent. It doesn't have to be. And it does require you to know yourself and you to have a very clear vision of the life you want to live and the business that you want to have, while giving yourself the grace to change your mind and to pivot. But you can have a soft life. I think honestly, soft life is a strategic life. Yeah, let me write that down. Soft life is a strategic life. Coming from a business strategist, a woman who works as gets paid to figure out systems to make things happen smoothly, to actually make things happen smoothly, but also quickly, usually, or at least quickly and sustainably. That's the thing. My clients come to me, they say, I want to do this. I say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Like, soft life is about being strategic. It's being strategic about your time, your resources, the things you feed, the things you breathe life into, the things that you don't, and how you take care of yourself during that process. Because look, you can't be a mega amazing national, best-selling author, speaker, getting on stages with X, Y, and Z type of people and be burnt out. Like, you can't. You need to be able to show up and give people the goods. And so whatever your business is, you have to be able to give the people the goods. Like, you're the golden goose. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like to say that to my clients. And some of my clients are like, no. But I'm like, you are. You're the golden goose. We got to preserve you. And that's what soft life is about. It's about being strategic about how you operate and how you move, so that as you move, you have multiple harvests. That's a soft life. That is what I'm talking about today. All right. So thank you so much for tuning into this. I'm Christine Joe, the host and creator of Flourish in the Foreign. If you've not listened to my podcast, what you doing? Flourish in the Foreign is all about celebrating, elevating, and affirming the voices and stories of Black women living and thriving abroad while exploring living abroad as a pathway to wellness. I also have 2 episodes about building a business abroad that are great, I think. Build a Business Abroad Part 1, Build a Business Abroad Part 2. Check those out on all of your listening platforms. And if you are ready to build a business abroad, I want to definitely encourage you to go ahead and download my Build a Business Abroad guide. It's a paid guide now. But I think it's well worth it to get yourself clear about the type of business you want to create. But more importantly, especially if you want to take your business abroad, you need to really think about the global landscape and some of the things you may actually encounter. So making sure that that business is going to be in alignment in all aspects of your life. And yes, soon the Build a Business Abroad group coaching is coming back. It's coming back soon. So if you're interested in building a business abroad, my group coaching, I'm super excited that you're interested. Come join me. And what you want to do is actually go onto my professional, well, I guess all my websites are professional, but my personal professional website, ChristineJob.com, ChristineJob.com. You learn more about me. You could be like, okay, girl, but what do you really know? Ask about me and check out my website. Check out my website, and you can learn more about me as a business strategist and what I do and who I work with and all their loveliness. And also you can join my newsletter there. So when the Build a Business Abroad group coaching is released, you'll hear about it. But also, when my next article about building business abroad comes live, it'll be sent to my newsletter. And I'm excited because I've been resisting doing the newsletter, even though this is something I tell a lot of my clients. But I was resisting it. But now I've found like a whole new vibe to it, and I'm excited to chat with you guys via email. So that is all for me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Janefa. Yes, you take care as well. Thank you, everyone. And remember, it is not about moving abroad, y'all. Goodness, don't let these TikTokers mess you up. It's not about moving abroad. And it is for sure not about just being abroad on vibes, miserable, living the same life, having the same cycles occur in your life because you didn't resolve them. You didn't move abroad with intention. Also, Move Abroad with Intention course started today, and it's great. Join the next cohort. It's about thriving abroad. It's about living a life on your own terms. It's about, I don't know, soft life abroad. Yeah? Okay. So go abroad and cultivate a life well lived. See y'all. Bye. Have a nice weekend.